Welcome back, curious minds, to the deep dive. We're here again, ready to sift through a stack of really fascinating sources, articles, research, deep insights.
That's right.
And our goal today, to pull out the most important, the most compelling nuggets of knowledge just for you.
hmm
Our mission is to go beyond the capes and, the cowls, way beyond the secret identities and those epic
That's
battles.
the Alpha stuff.
Exactly. We want to plunge into the profound internal lives, those unexpected transformations, and the really intricate connections that truly define some of DC Comics' most compelling figures. We've got quite a journey ahead.
Indeed. And we've been given just a fascinating collection of material for this one. It touches on heroes and villains.
Right.
And what really stands out to me looking through it all is just how many of these characters, despite the fantastical powers or these grand nefarious plans, they're deeply shaped by pretty universal human experiences.
The things we all relate to.
Exactly. We're talking about trauma, that constant search for identity, the sheer weight of their past actions, and of course, the power of the relationships they built.
Or destroy.
Or destroy, absolutely. So think of this as a journey into the philosophical fabric of heroism and villainy. You're right along with us, peeling back those layers.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our first big theme, let's call it the crucible of change. This really dives deep into characters who aren't static at all. They undergo these incredible metamorphoses, changes that fundamentally challenge our very ideas about identity.
Yeah, the resilience is key here.
Absolutely. The resilience is captivating. And to kick us off, let's talk about a character whose journey is just a masterclass in that resilience and reinvention. Barbara Gordon.
Ah, Babs. Yeah.
Many of you know her first as Batgirl, that bright, optimistic spark in Gotham. When she debuted back in '67, she was, well, a revelation.
Totally different energy.
Completely. A brilliant, resourceful, independent librarian leading the secret life. She proved, really unequivocally, that you didn't need to be this, tragic orphan consumed by vengeance to fight for justice.
Right. A different motivation.
She brought this vibrant intellectual energy to the whole Bat family dynamic, a vital counterpoint to Batman's brooding intensity. She really was a symbol of hope.
She was.
But then her world was just violently upended. In a story that, it still sparks intense debate today, Alan Moore and Brian Boland's 1988 graphic novel, The Killing Joke.
Oh, yeah. That.
In a truly sadistic, calculated act, the Joker shoots her, severs her spinal cord, leaves her paralyzed from the waist down.
It was brutal. Shocking.
It wasn't just shocking and brutal within the story itself, but it ignited significant criticism from readers, from critics.
And rightly so, in many ways.
Rightly so. It's often cited, and it's hard to argue against it, as a prime example of the fridging trope.
The term Gail Simone coined.
Exactly. Where a female character is maimed or depowered or killed primarily to motivate the male heroes. In this case, Batman and her father, Commissioner Gordon, it really became a touchstone for discussions about how women in comics were often, used as plot devices rather than characters in their own right.
That's such a crucial point, the whole fridging aspect. It really highlights a recurring, frankly, problematic issue in storytelling.
Yeah.
But what's truly compelling about Barbara's journey after that
Yes.
is how she completely transcended that initial difficult narrative. She didn't just remain a victim. She actively, powerfully reclaimed her agency.
Absolutely. From that immense trauma, Barbara underwent this profound reinvention that just redefined her heroism entirely. She couldn't fight physically anymore, right?
The Batgirl persona was gone.
But she didn't retreat, not at all. Instead, she leveraged her incredible intellect, her photographic memory, her amazing computer skills.
Yeah, she was always smart.
Always. And she became Oracle, the world's greatest information broker. You had this figure operating from a hidden clock tower, building this unparalleled network of contacts, satellites, databases. She basically became the eyes and ears for the entire superhero community.
Indispensable.
Totally indispensable. Oracle was way more than just a tech wizard. She was a master strategist, a natural leader, a dedicated mentor, coordinating the birds of prey, most famously.
Such a great team.
She truly challenged that notion that physical ability is the only measure of strength, became this icon for disabled representation, for resilience. She proved her mind was actually her ultimate superpower.
Yeah.
For a lot of fans, that period, the Oracle years, that represents the absolute pinnacle of her character arc. It showcased a different, but just as potent form of heroism.
And this is where it gets really interesting for me. Her transformation into Oracle, it really shifted the paradigm. It wasn't just about adapting, it was about elevating.
Good way to put it.
She wasn't just able to keep being a hero. She became utterly central. Indispensable, like you said. She highlighted well, the often overlooked power of information and strategy in a world that's often obsessed with just brute force.
Right. Punching things.
Exactly. It's a powerful statement on what it means to be a truly well-rounded, effective hero. It's not just about the physical fight.
And the story doesn't end there, which, further underscores her capacity for change. In 2011, with DC's New 52 reboot,
Ah, the big reset.
that massive company-wide relaunch, resetting continuity, streamlining origins, well, Barbara's mobility was somewhat controversially restored. Through a technological implant, it brought her back to the role of Batgirl.
Which caused some ripples.
Oh, definitely. That shift, it was initially contentious, especially among longtime fans who saw Oracle as such a vital piece of representation, and rightly so.
Yet losing that was significant for many.
But it also demonstrated the character's enduring capacity for reinvention. And DC's ongoing reinterpretation of her journey, it proved she could evolve, adapt, remain a hero in any form, really, still inspiring new generations.
So Barbara Gordon's evolution,
Mm-hmm.
from Batgirl to Oracle and then back again, it's just a testament to how even these deeply traumatic events can be catalysts
Yeah.
for profound, empowering transformations,
Mhm.
both for the character and, for the narratives that shape them.
Yeah, it really forces us to question what we value in our heroes, doesn't it? Is it just the physical fight, or is it the resilience, the intellect, the ability to adapt?
Precisely. It broadens the definition.
Okay, so from Gotham's dark alleys and these very personal transformations, let's jump way out to the cosmic expanse. Because we see similar themes there. Fall and rise, resilience, and the very philosophy of power itself within the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, to court, yeah.
Particularly with two figures, Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner. Hal Jordan, for so long, he was the quintessential Green Lantern.
The archetype.
Exactly. Fearless test pilot. Embodying pure, unadulterated willpower. He was the confident, maybe sometimes arrogant face of the Corps.
He definitely had swagger.
He did, but his world just shattered with the obliteration of Coast City, his hometown, just wiped off the map in this cataclysmic event.
Parallax.
Right. This led to a period of intense, all-consuming grief and rage. It left him vulnerable, and it was in that broken state that he was corrupted by the fear entity, Parallax.
Yeah, fear personified.
What followed was just a murderous rampage. He single-handedly destroyed the Green Lantern Corps, killed many of the Guardians of the Universe themselves.
It was unthinkable, a complete betrayal of everything he stood for.
A monumental fall for one of the DCU's greatest heroes, a truly dark chapter.
And the fall of Hal Jordan as Parallax, it's pivotal because it asks that fundamental question.
Right.
What happens when pure willpower, the very essence of a Green Lantern, gets completely consumed by overwhelming trauma and fear?
Right.
Transforms that symbol of hope into an instrument of total destruction.
Exactly. But Hal's journey, thankfully, wasn't over. He later served time as the Spectre.
Mm-hmm. The spirit of vengeance.
This powerful, almost divine being embodying this duality of justice and vengeance. It was a complex role.
Definitely. A heavy mantle.
This period really symbolized an arduous spiritual path towards atonement for him. His eventual return, not just as a Green Lantern, but as a core reformer, a torchbearer that cemented his status as a beacon of resilience.
You had to earn it back.
Totally. It proved that even the greatest falls can be followed by an equally great rise, restoring hope and purpose, not just for Hal, but for the entire Corps he'd rebuilt. He became a symbol of redemption.
A very hard-won redemption.
In the wake of Hal's destruction, though, when the Corps was gone, a new hero emerged, almost plucked from obscurity. Kyle Rayner.
The artist.
The artist, an everyman, really. A struggling artist chosen unexpectedly by Ganthet, the last Guardian, thrust into this impossible task of being the last Green Lantern.
Talk about pressure.
Right. A tremendous burden.
Right.
But it was Kyle's artistic nature that fundamentally changed the Green Lantern Corps. His constructs weren't just, green boxing gloves or walls.
No, they were wild.
They were fantastical pop culture-infused art, constantly morphing, evolving. This was a physical manifestation of a whole new philosophy, where the Corps could be a force of creation, not just rigid order.
Imagination as willpower.
Precisely. His unique approach, understanding and empathizing with different emotions, eventually allowed him to master the entire emotional spectrum.
And that's the real insight there, isn't it? The evolution of the very concept of willpower. Hal's was raw, unyielding force.
Right.
Kyle's was imaginative, empathetic, creative. It's a shift from sheer force to something more nuanced, more like creation itself.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is a shift. Kyle, being an artist, he channeled that creativity directly into his constructs. It showed that willpower isn't just about stern resolve, it's about imaginative application. It really diversified what heroism could look like within that cosmic framework.
It broadened the scope.
Definitely. He embodied this idea that the core could be a force of light and creation, not just, a cosmic police force enforcing rules.
A necessary evolution, maybe.
And Kyle evolved further still, became the new guardian, and then the White Lantern, wielding all the colors of the emotional spectrum,
All life.
representing unified life itself. He became known as the torchbearer, the one who understood the struggle, who kept the flame of the core alive when it was down to just him. He proved that an everyman, through empathy and creativity, could truly become everything.
What's fascinating here, I think, is how the Green Lantern mythos specifically allows for this kind of evolution,
Yeah.
not just in individuals, but in the very philosophy of power and heroism,
Oh.
from raw willpower to artistic creation.
Yeah, it's built into the concept.
It's a powerful reminder that even these ancient systems, like the core, they can only truly endure through continuous reevaluation and embracing new perspectives, often born out of crisis and necessity, like with Kyle.
That's a great point. Okay, transitioning from these cosmic transformations back down to earthbound figures. Another character wrestling with profound internal change is Cyborg, Victor Stone.
Vic, yeah.
His origin details this strained relationship with his brilliant but often emotionally distant father, Dr. Silas Stone.
The classic driven scientist archetype.
Right, prioritizing work over family, that kind of thing. Then came the life-threatening accident. Sometimes it's an interdimensional attack, sometimes a lab explosion, the details shift.
But the result's the same.
The result is the same. It leads to Silas's act of both desperate love and, frankly, overwhelming guilt. He rebuilds Victor using experimental, highly advanced cybernetic technology. Victor's life is saved, but
At a huge cost.
at a huge cost. His body, his dreams of being an athlete, and what he perceives as a significant part of his humanity, gone.
That's a classic setup for an existential crisis right there.
Yeah.
The moment Victor Stone becomes cyborg, he's instantly grappling with this profound question of identity.
Exactly. This transformation sparks Victor's constant struggle with the question, am I more man or machine? And this duality, it isn't just a superficial sci-fi trope. It reflects these universal human struggles with identity, with belonging, acceptance.
It makes him surprisingly relatable.
In many ways, yeah, it makes him one of DC's most relatable heroes despite the high-tech appearance. He's constantly trying to find where his self resides. Is it in his organic brain or in the vast, powerful network of his cybernetics?
That integration is the key struggle.
He possesses incredibly advanced cybernetic tech, powerful sonic cannons, superhuman strength, speed, flight, regenerative capabilities. He's essential to teams like the Teen Titans and the Justice League. An invaluable strategist capable of linking minds for seamless communication, synchronized tactics.
He's often the tech core of the team.
Often, yeah. Providing crucial data, tactical solutions, bridging that gap between human intuition and machine intelligence for his teammates.
That's a fantastic point about relatability. And I'd argue it's not just about identity in the abstract. It forces us to ask, where does humanity truly reside when parts of us are physically replaced? And how does trauma ultimately redefine what it means to be whole? Cyborg's journey is a deeply relatable human struggle, despite the high-tech look. It's about how trauma can force a complete redefinition of self, and how you find your humanity even when parts of it are physically replaced by metal and circuits. He represents that challenge of integrating radically new elements into your identity while striving constantly to retain a sense of self and connection to what it means to be human.
From high-tech heroes and their existential struggles, let's turn to a character who's undergone a similarly dramatic but arguably more morally ambiguous evolution.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy. Pamela Isley.
Ah, Ivy. Yes. Her journey's been fascinating.
Her persona, her motives, they've traced this really interesting path from a somewhat one-dimensional, 1960s femme fatale.
Just another villain of the week almost?
Pretty much. Designed to spice up a Batman comic, then evolving into an 80s, 90s eco-warrior. But it's really in the 2000s and beyond that she's truly blossomed, hasn't she? Becoming this complex anti-hero and a powerful symbol of queer love.
Her evolution definitely reflects a growing societal awareness, doesn't it? That shift from just a simple antagonist to an environmental avenger. It suggests a deeper resonance with real-world concerns about ecological threats.
Absolutely. And hand in hand with that, her powers have evolved dramatically. They started as basically just advanced botanical knowledge. She could create potions, poisons, scientific stuff.
More chemistry than magic initially.
Right, but that steadily grew into this profound, almost spiritual connection to the green.
The Parliament of Trees, that whole concept.
Exactly, the elemental consciousness of all plant life across the universe. This vast, interconnected network of fungal and plant intelligence. This connection allowed her to magically command nature, even animate plants, giving her a power far beyond simple chemistry.
A fundamental shift in her nature.
And this profound bond also reflected a deep psychological break from humanity, viewing us often as a cancer. A destructive force on the planet she now feels this primal allegiance to. She sees the human world as, like, an illusion, a brief destructive hiccup in geological time, and herself as its protector.
A very radical perspective.
Very. More recently, her therapeutic and empowering relationship with Harley Quinn has been beautifully highlighted.
Yes, their bond is fantastic.
Built on mutual respect, healing. It really helped Harley find her identity outside the Joker's shadow. Ivy saw a kindred spirit in Harley, another woman broken by a destructive man, and together they formed one of comics' most enduring and celebrated romantic partnerships.
It's been really well handled, mostly.
And modern storylines, like the G. Willow Wilson run, which was fantastic, they don't shy away from or erase her past murders, which is important.
Right, she's still done terrible things.
Yeah. Exactly. Instead, they use that past as a foundation for a complex redemption arc, where Ivy grapples with the aftermath of her actions and genuinely seeks to understand if she can truly be good, or if her past just precludes any future innocence. She's wrestling with the consequences of a lifetime of radical, violent acts, trying to figure out if being a good guy is even possible for her now.
That compelling redemption arc for Ivy makes her incredibly complex. But host, do you think it risks minimizing the severity of her past actions sometimes? Where do we draw the line between understanding a villain's motives and, well, excusing their profound destruction?
That's the razor's edge, isn't it?
It raises an important question about the flexibility of villainy itself. How a character can evolve from a simple antagonist to this tragic, even sympathetic figure who forces us to question our own relationship with nature and morality. Ivy embodies a moral landscape that challenges black and white definitions. It asks us to consider if destructive acts, when born from a profound, albeit twisted, love for the planet, can ever be understood, even if not entirely forgiven. It's a powerful internal conflict she represents.
Very gray area.
We've explored how these characters dramatically reinvent themselves, often through profound personal trauma. But equally powerful, and perhaps even more foundational, are the ties they forge. The legacies they uphold, the families they build, sometimes, found in the most unexpected places.
Right.
This leads us right into our next section, the ties that bind. Legacy and chosen families. How much of a hero's journey is shaped by their past and by the people they choose to stand with? For many, the answer lies right there in those deep bonds.
That's a perfect segue because this idea is perfectly embodied by Dick Grayson, the enduring heart of the Bat family.
The first Robin.
Yeah. The introduction of Robin back in 1940, it wasn't just a new character joining the cast. It was a seismic shift, really. It fundamentally transformed Batman's narrative. Before Robin, Batman was this lone, grim avenger.
Very solitary.
With Dick, he became the patriarch of this multi-generational, heroic family, a vital source of light in Batman's inherent darkness.
He humanized Batman, in a way.
He really did. And Dick's personal journey stands in such stark contrast to Bruce's. While Bruce is, inextricably bound by his trauma, defining his entire identity around fighting the darkness that created him, Dick demonstrated this remarkable capacity for healing, for growth.
He didn't let the tragedy define him in the same way.
No, he chose to operate in the light, symbolizing hope over trauma, proving that immense pain doesn't have to be a lifelong prison. He embodies optimism in the grim reality of Gotham, often reminding Batman and the reader of the joy still possible in life.
What's truly remarkable about Dick is that he took the foundation Batman gave him, the training, the discipline, all of that, and then built something entirely different, something brighter. He became Nightwing, a hero in his own right, fundamentally distinct from his mentor.
Exactly. He forged his own identity.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bat family, as a whole, beyond just tactical aid in fights, provides crucial emotional and psychological support.
Right.
It keeps Batman from total isolation.
Alfred especially.
Alfred, the faithful butler, often the moral compass. The various Robins and Batgirls offer different perspectives. They challenge Batman's sometimes rigid worldview. They absorb some of the immense pressure. They see the man beneath the cowl. They remind him of his humanity, a side he often tries to suppress.
Did she come grounded?
Absolutely. Without them, Batman would be truly alone and perhaps truly lost in his own obsession.
What's fascinating here is how Dick's journey highlights Batman's own capacity for compassion and hope, even if Bruce struggles to show it. It's a crucial counterbalance to his solitary nature. Dick is the true legacy of the man who saved him, carrying forward a different, more optimistic interpretation of heroism. He set the standard for the Robin mantle, proving that sidekicks aren't just support, they are future leaders who can forge their own paths while still honoring their past.
The idea of a mantle enduring beyond the individual, well, it's nowhere more evident than with the Flash family.
Oh, absolutely, the speedsters.
When Barry Allen made his heroic sacrifice in Crisis on Infinite Earths,
Landmark event, huge deal.
that 1985-86 event that redefined the multiverse, eliminated alternate Earths. Wally West, his sidekick Kid Flash, stepped up, took the mantle, and this was a huge gamble for DC at the time, replacing such an iconic Silver Age hero.
Big shoes to fill.
Huge, but it worked. Wally's tenure proved that the mantle was, in many ways, more important than the man wearing it, that the legacy could evolve. He had to grow into the role, becoming, for an entire generation of readers, the definitive Flash.
He really came into his own.
He did. The Flash family then just continued to expand, creating this vibrant, interconnected network of speedsters. You have Bart Allen, Barry's impulsive grandson from the future, who went from impulse to Kid Flash, even briefly became the Flash himself. We also have Jesse Quick, Max Mercury, the elder statesman speedster, and the newest addition, Wallace West.
The whole community.
It's a collective. It demonstrates that heroism isn't a solitary endeavor, but a shared journey within this supportive found family. Each generation builds upon the legacy of the last, finding strength and purpose in their collective bond and their shared powers drawn from the Speed Force.
It's an incredible vision of legacy, isn't it? Where power isn't just passed down, but amplified and diversified through connection. The Speed Force itself becomes a kind of family bond, connecting them all across time and space.
And at its core, the Flash, no matter who is wearing the costume, isn't just the fastest person alive. They're consistently portrayed as the most hopeful.
Always running forward.
Always running towards and creating the future, sometimes even rewriting the past. They believe in the power to choose one's own destiny, to make things better. This relentless pursuit of good, fueled by this unwavering optimism, it's a defining characteristic of the entire Flash family.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the Flash family is just this beautiful illustration of how heroism can be like a relay race. Each generation builds upon the legacy of the last, finding strength and purpose in their collective bond and shared powers. It shows a truly communal approach to saving the world, where hope is literally passed from one runner to the next, never truly extinguished.
Now let's talk about the Shazam family, which is just a truly beautiful testament to the power of a pure heart and found love. Billy Batson. He wasn't chosen for his physical strength or his intellectual prowess. He was chosen by the wizard Shazam for his pure heart, his innate kindness, his unwavering hope, even despite this cynical and often harsh past in the foster care system.
Especially in the New 52 origin.
Exactly. His true superpower, you could argue, is his heart, which is a stark contrast to many heroes whose origins are rooted in, trauma or alien birthright or scientific accidents.
It's about inherent goodness.
Right. And this solitary hero, initially just Billy Batson transforming into the big red cheese alone, he evolved into one who shares his power. First with his twin sister Mary, then his best friend Freddie Freeman.
Classic Marvel family.
And eventually his entire foster family, Eugene, Pedro, and Darla. This transformed Shazam into a collective Shazamily. It solidifies themes of family, love, community as just central to his heroism. It's a real celebration of found family, proving that connection can be as powerful as any cosmic force.
What's powerful here is the idea that true strength isn't just individual might, but the collective power of people who genuinely care for each other. The magic literally flows through their familial bonds. It's inherent in the concept now.
And in modern continuity, Billy's role is expanded even further. He becomes the guardian not just of Earth, but of the fantastical and often dangerous Seven Magic Lands.
Yeah, that Jeff Johns run opened things up.
Like the Fun Lands, which is this twisted mirror of corrupted innocence ruled by an evil child king. A truly unsettling concept. This elevates him to a supernatural guardian, defending against threats far beyond simple villains, embodying a beacon of genuine joy and hope against sinister, often magical despair.
What's fascinating here is how the Shazam family is just this beautiful testament to the idea that love and family are the ultimate superpowers. especially in a world often dominated by individualistic heroes or those driven by solitary trauma. It's a reminder that genuine goodness and human connection, particularly for those who've experienced profound loneliness like Billy and his foster siblings, can be the most potent forces for good. It offers a really necessary counter-narrative to the often grim landscape of superheroics.
Moving on, another hero whose family is his ultimate anchor is Jaime Reyes, the Blue Beetle.
The third Blue Beetle, yeah, great character.
His story offers this refreshing subversion of the traditional secret identity trope. Unlike most heroes who hide their lives, Jamie's family, his mom, his dad, his little sister Milagro, they are fully aware of his superhero identity.
Which is huge.
It's huge, and they're actively involved in his life and his mission, their knowledge, their support. It keeps him incredibly grounded, constantly reminding him what he's fighting for. And crucially, it prevents him from being completely consumed by the alien scarab, Khajiit, which is bonded to his spine.
They're his firewall, almost.
Exactly. They are his anchor in this tumultuous, super-powered life. And his heroism is constantly defined by this internal conflict with Khajiit, the scarab itself. This is villainous alien technology from the Reach, programmed for galactic conquest.
Not exactly friendly tech.
Not at all. It creates this perpetual good angel, bad angel dialogue inside Jamie's head. His innate humanity constantly battles the Scarab's destructive directives, its original programming. This internal struggle makes his early comics just a compelling read, as he constantly asserts his will against this sentient, planet-destroying AI that's literally grafted to him. He didn't choose this life, but he absolutely chooses to embrace it for good, using the Scarab's power on his own terms.
This creates such a fascinating dynamic, doesn't it? Jamie's family acts as this crucial external check on an internal, almost parasitic power source. It's a beautiful metaphor for how our support systems can help us navigate these overwhelming internal battles we all face sometimes.
Absolutely. Jamie is just a necessary hero for our time, defined not just by his struggles, but by his connections. His humor, his heart, they provide this refreshing contrast in the superhero landscape, proving that family and community really are the ultimate superpowers, especially for a teenager thrust into a cosmic war he never asked for. He brings this lighthearted, family-focused approach to heroism that's both dynamic and incredibly relatable.
This raises an important question, though, about how the support system of a character can fundamentally change the nature of their heroism, especially when they are bonded to something as dangerous and sentient as the Scarab. Jamie's story is this constant assertion of human will against alien programming, highlighting the profound strength found in community and chosen family as the ultimate defense against corruption.
From individual heroes and their anchoring families, let's turn to a collective force of chosen family.
The Birds of Prey.
Yes. Great team dynamics.
This unique power trio, at its core, usually consists of Barbara Gordon as Oracle, the unparalleled brain, the master strategist, the eyes and ears in the sky.
The mission control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's Helena Bertinelli, the huntress. She's the blunt force, the raw, often chaotic protector, willing to cross lines.
The muscle, but complex muscle.
Very complex. And finally, Dinah Lance, Black Canary. She's the emotional heart, the voice of reason, and of course, the sonic hammer with that canary cry. They are a force of nature when they come together, but maybe more importantly, they function as this crucial support group for one another.
It's a brilliant setup for a team because each member brings such distinct and necessary qualities. They fill the gaps for one another, not just tactically, but emotionally, too. Precisely. They function as a chosen family, complementing each other perfectly. Barbara provides the invaluable intel. Helena brings the necessary, often brutal force when needed. And Dinah, with her profound empathy, acts as the moral compass and emotional anchor. Dinah would know when they were hurting, when they were tired, when they were at their breaking point, providing that essential human connection that many solo heroes lack. This alliance is built on mutual respect and shared, often traumatic experiences, creating a stability that individual heroes often struggle to find alone.
Especially in Gotham.
Especially in Gotham. And for Elena Bertinelli in particular, the Birds of Prey offered this powerful redemption arc, forged in the rage and trauma of her family's brutal murder by the mob.
A classic Gotham origin.
Her violent tendencies were tempered by the unwavering support and acceptance of her teammates. The Birds of Prey gave her a surrogate family she thought she had lost forever. It helped her reconcile her brutal vigilante nature with her deeply held Catholic faith, and ultimately find salvation and acceptance where she least expected it.
They saved her, in a way, from herself.
In many ways, yes.
And this is where it truly gets interesting. This female-led partnership created a new center of gravity in Gotham. It's a powerful example of how heroism, especially for women operating in a traditionally male-centric world like superhero comics, can be defined as much by their alliances and mutual support as it is by their individual strength or their relationships with male heroes. It offers a dynamic that stands apart, highlighting the strength found in solidarity and understanding.
We've examined transformations and family bonds. Now let's explore our third and final major theme, the depths within, duality, trauma, and inner battles. And here's where it truly gets compelling, I think, because for many of these characters, their greatest battles aren't external. They're fought within themselves. Their inner lives are as complex, if not more so, than any cosmic threat they face.
The internal landscape, yeah.
Let's plunge right into those depths with Aquaman, Arthur Curry, a character whose physical domain, the ocean, so perfectly mirrors his psychological landscape.
It's almost literal.
It really is. The ocean, in this profound, almost Jungian way, signifies the collective unconscious. It contains archetypes, primal fears, universal truths. Arthur's deep connection to water mirrors his internal journey as he constantly navigates these unconscious depths to find clarity and purpose, embodying both this stoic strength and this primal resilience.
It's an incredible visual metaphor, isn't it? The physical act of diving deep into the ocean is replicated in his internal struggle, trying to understand himself, his place between two worlds.
Absolutely. His is a hero's journey, often inspired by ancient myths of descent and ascent, like Orpheus going into the underworld. Arthur's literal and metaphorical journey into the depths involves confronting primal fears. Think about the monstrous creatures of the trench.
Oh yeah, terrifying.
They aren't just physical threats. They symbolize repressed anxieties, these ancestral feels of chaos, death, the unknown that lurk beneath the surface of the psyche. By confronting these, he discovers profound inner strength. His mastery over water, over oceanic creatures, ultimately symbolizes his emotional mastery, learning to navigate turbulent inner currents and the primal chaos within his own soul.
He has to conquer the depths within, to rule the depths without.
Exactly. Aquaman also functions as this powerful ecological and cultural reflection. He is a symbol of ecological urgency, reflecting our societal anxieties about pollution, climate change, environmental collapse. Atlantis itself often serves as a cautionary tale of technological hubris, ecological neglect, lost wisdom. A society that has, at times, turned its back on both the surface world and its own ancient responsibilities.
A fallen kingdom in some way.
Right. His enduring mission to unify Atlantis and the surface world symbolizes cultural synthesis and ecological harmony, a reconciliation of opposites, light and dark, order and chaos, land and sea.
What's fascinating here is how Aquaman's physical domain, the ocean, is both a literal and symbolic representation of his psychological landscape. His heroism is this continuous process of understanding and embracing the depths within himself and within the world, making him a deeply introspective hero, constantly striving for balance between the primal and the civilized, and between his dual heritage as Atlantean royalty and a surface dweller.
From the depths of the ocean to the inner struggles of the soul, we find Raven.
Ah, Rachel Roth.
Yes.
She embodies that universal struggle between the light and dark within ourselves, representing our innate capacity for both profound darkness, anger, selfishness, despair, and immense love, kindness, and sacrifice. Her story, at its very heart, is about the constant choice to embrace the light. It's a powerful metaphor for the human condition itself, that daily battle for self-control.
And her origins are incredibly dark.
Steeped in a terrifying lineage and deep trauma, daughter of the interdimensional demon Trigon.
One of DC's biggest bads. Absolutely. She constantly struggles against this terrifying inherited heritage, always fearing her own potential for destruction. In many versions, her relationship with Dick Grayson, Robin, serves as a primary emotional anchor, a shared journey through trauma that helps her connect to her humanity.
He sees past the darkness.
He does. Even her gloomier, often sarcastic persona in Teen Titans Go, where her sarcasm is a wellspring of punchlines and her soul self is a squishy purple blob. It's an ironic, but ultimately affectionate contrast of this profound internal battle. It's a testament to how iconic her core struggle has become.
She's a character who, despite her immense power, is often defined by her vulnerability to her own nature.
Yeah.
So how does her dry, sarcastic humor fit into that internal battle? Is it a genuine part of her, or is it just another layer of defense?
That's a great question. Raven absolutely employs coping mechanisms, and her dry, sarcastic humor is one of her most potent. It acts as a shield, right? A defense mechanism. A way of keeping people at a distance, deflecting pain, or cutting through tension in really dire situations.
It makes her relatable, though.
Incredibly relatable and multifaceted. She's grounded, as someone you could almost imagine having a quiet cup of tea with, despite her dark demonic origins. It's a way for her to control that emotional distance and survive the intensity of her internal world.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Raven's story fundamentally challenges the idea that destiny is predetermined by one's origin. It emphasizes the profound power of individual choice and that daily fight for goodness, regardless of the darkness one carries within. Her continuous struggle makes her a hero of the soul whose light shines brightest when she actively chooses connection and compassion over succumbing to her fears and her lineage.
Now let's talk about Firestorm, a character who embodies a literal duality of instinct and intellect.
The nuclear man.
Right. The unique dynamic between Ronnie Raymond, who acts as the physical body, the conscious mind, the pure instinct, the jock, basically, and Dr. Martin Stein, the disembodied voice in his head, his conscience, the tactical genius, the scientific advisor, the intellect. It is a literal manifestation of that age-old battle between youthful impulse and seasoned intellect.
Two minds sharing one body.
And for Martin Stein, being Firestorm is this profound, alienating experience, often depicted as a form of psychological torture. He's a brilliant man, trapped, a disembodied consciousness in this burning body, unable to communicate directly with loved ones in the outside world, effectively a ghost in his own life.
That sounds terrifying.
It's depicted as terrifying. He's forced into heroism not by choice, but by circumstance, making his heroism a unique form of survival, constantly feeling powerless to control his own destiny or even his own body. The psychological toll of this forced partnership and lack of control is immense.
That's an extraordinary burden to place on a hero. It makes his participation in saving the world a constant existential crisis for him.
It truly does. And their core power is matter transmutation, allowing them to rearrange atomic structures of inorganic matter, famously turning guns into harmless ducks or tanks into flowers.
The fun side of nuclear physics.
Right. But crucially, and this is a key limitation, they cannot affect organic matter, living things. This forces a constant, often humorous collaboration between Ronnie's street smarts and Stein's scientific genius, compelling them to be clever and inventive, not just powerful. This limitation ensures his battles are won with ingenuity, wit, and a true partnership of minds.
What's fascinating here is how Firestorm's duality presents this extreme form of isolation, particularly for Stein, where his immense intellect is a power, but also a profound prison. It highlights the psychological costs of superpowers and forced partnership, asking what it truly means to be a hero when your very existence is a compromise and your greatest power is also your greatest burden.
Let's turn now to John Constantine.
Ah, the Hellblazer himself.
A character burdened by an unending cycle of loss and trauma. A man who is, quite literally, a walking graveyard of relationships. He is haunted by the literal and figurative ghosts of everyone he's ever cared about, friends, lovers, family. These losses aren't just in the past. They are a constant, active reminder of the immense price of being close to him, leaving these emotional and psychological wounds that just never truly heal.
He's the ultimate survivor, but at what cost,
Yeah.
right? That constant accumulation of loss, of guilt, it would break most people.
It would, and his dark, cynical, biting humor is his greatest defense mechanism. He uses it to push people away, deflect unbearable pain, make truly terrible situations bearable. He's often described as a comedian in a horror story, using jokes, often at his own expense, to cope with the profound absurdity and decay of the world around him.
That trench coat hides a lot of scars.
Definitely. He's the kind of man who will stare down some cosmic horror from beyond reality and just ask, right then, who's for a pint? Using levity as a shield against the abyss.
Classic Constantine.
He's the ultimate anti-authoritarian. Trust no one, especially not those in power, whether demonic or human. He's constantly fighting against systems of exploitation. Yet, beneath those thick, grimy layers of filth, sarcasm, and self-loathing, he secretly possesses a bleeding heart.
Deep down. Very deep down.
Very deep down. He cheats demons, insults gods, faces the world's inevitable decay with a profane salute. A survivor who keeps going no matter how many times he's knocked down, usually for some twisted sense of the greater good, even if he'd never admit it.
This raises an important question about the line between coping and self-destruction, and how Constantine weaponizes his own pain and cynicism as a form of survival against these overwhelming supernatural and systemic horrors. He embodies a profound, almost tragic resistance to an uncaring universe, showing us the brutal, unglamorous side of magic and heroism. He pays the price.
Next, we delve into the tragic humanity of obsession with Mr. Freeze, Victor Fries.
One of Batman's most tragic rogues.
Absolutely. His origin story details him as this brilliant cryogenics expert, a man utterly broken by loss, driven by an all-consuming obsession to save his cryogenically frozen wife, Nora. His genius, once dedicated to pure scientific advancement, becomes a tool for desperate, often criminal, acts. He is not a monster born of madness or lust for power, but a man cursed by love, willing to do absolutely anything to bring her back.
It's a classic tragic villain setup, where noble intentions become corrupted by extreme measures. But the evolution of Nora's character is really key here, isn't it?
Absolutely. The evolution of Nora Fries is critical. It elevates his story beyond simple motivation. For decades, Nora was largely just a passive plot device. The beautiful woman in the ice block, the reason for Victor's villainy.
The object of his obsession.
Exactly. But recent stories have explored what happens when Nora is actually cured, revived. And the devastating twist is that upon awakening, she might no longer recognize or desire the life Victor created for her, perhaps seeing him as the monster he became, not the husband she loved.
That's heartbreaking.
It transforms his story into this complex psychological drama, questioning the very selflessness of his love, revealing it as potentially possessive, even destructive to her autonomy. His entire purpose, his lifelong quest to preserve a life and a love that, for her, may have already moved on. It shatters his entire identity.
So he saved her, but lost her anyway.
Precisely. This makes Freeze one of Gotham's most tragically human monsters, a man cursed by love, making him ironically one of the most relatable of Gotham's rogues. His constant battle with obsession and the profound burden of his genius define him, reminding us that even a simple, pure act of love, when twisted and unchecked, can turn to ice, blurring the line between hero and villain and revealing the devastating consequences of unwavering fixation.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Mr. Freeze's story explores the destructive power of unchecked obsession and the profound heartbreak when the object of that obsession changes or is lost, leaving the hero or villain utterly without purpose. It's a testament to the idea that love, twisted, can turn to ice, and that the greatest prisons are often the ones we build for ourselves, fueled by our deepest desires.
Finally, in this section on inner battles, we turn to the epitome of internal conflict, Batman, Bruce Wayne.
The Dark Knight himself.
A character whose inner demons and psychological struggles are so often externalized through his infamous rogues gallery. His villains aren't just external threats. They are profound psychological reflections of his own potential for madness, the dark corners of his inner world made manifest.
It's a unique dynamic in comics, isn't it?
Yeah.
His enemies aren't just adversaries. They are mirrors held up to his own fractured psyche. Each one represents a path he didn't take or fears taking.
Precisely. Take the Joker, for instance. He's Batman's existential shadow, representing the ultimate loss of control, the descent into unreasoning madness. The Joker constantly tries to break Batman's moral code to prove that his civility is just a thin veneer, that he's only one bad day away from becoming just like him.
The chaos to Batman's rigid order.
Exactly. Then there's the Riddler. He acts as intellectual hubris personified, a dark mirror of Bruce's own brilliant mind if it were consumed by an obsession with superiority, with proving himself the smartest person in the room.
Mind games instead of physical confrontation.
Right. Two-Face Harvey Dent. He symbolizes moral ambiguity, representing what Batman himself could become if he lost faith in his own rigid code after a traumatic event, embracing the randomness of fate instead of justice.
The duality of good and evil in one person.
And Scarecrow. Jonathan Crane. A master of fear. He embodies the very weapon Batman uses to fight crime, serving as a constant reminder of the dangerous tightrope Batman walks between hero and villain. How easily he could fall into using fear for control rather than justice.
Using his own methods against him.
Ultimately, Batman fights this constant war, not just on the crime-ridden streets of Gotham, but perpetually within his own head, grappling with unresolved trauma, consuming obsession, the moral gray areas he is forced to inhabit. He is deeply flawed, broken, and profoundly human beneath the cape and cowl, making his internal struggles as compelling, if not more so, than any external cosmic threat he might face.
What's fascinating here is how Batman's rogues gallery functions as this psychological map of his own fears and his attempts at self-control.
Yeah.
He is perpetually fighting aspects of himself externally manifested, making his heroism a deeply personal and unending battle. It reveals that the fight for Gotham is, for Batman, fundamentally a fight for his very soul, a constant assertion of order against the chaos within and without.
Wow. Yeah.
So we've navigated these complex landscapes of personal transformation, the strength derived from chosen families, and the profound inner battles that define so many of these characters. What does this all ultimately mean? Well, These characters often push the boundaries of what we expect from heroes and villains. They force us to redefine what heroism truly looks like, or at least how it manifests in a deeply complex and often morally ambiguous world.
Right. Not always black and white.
Not at all. Which brings us to our final section, gray areas and unconventional paths. Redefining heroism.
Let's start with Black Adam. Teth Adam, often portrayed as a righteous tyrant, a pragmatist.
That's cool, yeah.
He's a truly tragic hero, or perhaps a righteous villain, a benevolent despot. His good heart, chosen by the wizard Shazam originally, was utterly broken by the loss of his kingdom and family in ancient Kondak.
Centuries of grief and rage.
Exactly. This profound loss fueled an apocalyptic fury to remake the world by force, believing he alone knows what's best. He truly, genuinely believes he is the hero of his own story. Chosen for his good heart, then having that heart broken beyond repair, turning him into this force of brutal, unwavering will.
His methods are extreme, to say the least.
His philosophy is a profound, often violent clash with traditional heroes. He sees modern heroes as naive, their no-kill rule, a fatal flaw that enables evil to persist, in his view. He views teams like the Justice Society as mere tools to protect his nation of Kondak, not humanity at large. He is the ultimate pragmatist in a world of idealists, firmly believing that to protect his people he must be a monster to their enemies, using any means necessary.
It's a direct challenge to the often simplistic morality we see in superhero comics. Black Adam forces us to question if, in certain contexts, extreme measures can ever be justified, even if born from love for his people.
Absolutely. And his powers? The swiftness of Heru, the strength of Amon, the magical energy of Aton, the wisdom of Zehudi, the stamina of Shu, the courage of Mehen. They aren't just physical might. They are a literal manifestation of his unwavering will and an absolute belief in his own brutal methods. His magical edge against Superman in particular makes him a powerful counterpoint, capable of exploiting the Man of Steel's key weakness, reflecting his mystical origins as a champion of the gods, now gone rogue.
What's fascinating here is how Black Adam challenges the very foundation of modern superhero ethics. He forces us to consider if ruthlessness, driven by profound love for one's people, can sometimes be seen as a necessary evil, blurring that line between hero and tyrant. He's a dark mirror, showing other heroes what their ideals might look like if pushed to their most violent, uncompromising conclusions.
From the ancient king to Gotham's street-level vigilante, we find the Huntress, Helena Bertinelli, a character forged in rage and on this relentless quest for redemption.
Another complex Gothamite.
Orphaned by a brutal mob murder that claimed her entire family, she was driven to a violent crusade of vengeance, making her a creature of impulse, living in this world of blinding fury and a burning need for justice, however she defines it, often with crossbow bolts.
Her origins are steeped in classic Gotham tragedy, but it's her internal conflict that truly sets her apart, I think.
Indeed. A profound internal battle defines her, that dichotomy of faith. She lives by the tenets of Catholic faith, often shown attending confession, believing in forgiveness and mercy. Yet her entire existence as the Huntress is this brutal crusade of vengeance, where she frequently crosses lines other heroes won't.
The Punisher of the bad family sometimes.
A bit, yeah. She carries the immense weight of her sins to confession, seeking absolution for the very acts that define her nightly routine, constantly struggling to reconcile her violent passion with her spiritual beliefs. It's a compelling, tragic contradiction at her core.
That struggle makes her very human.
It does. However, Helena finds salvation, or at least a path towards it, and a new moral compass within the Birds of Prey, particularly through Dinah Lance's profound empathy and Barbara Gordon's strong leadership. The support group helps temper her violent nature, allowing her to reconcile her brutal tendencies and find acceptance in a new family where she least expected it. They don't erase her past, but they help her find a healthier path forward.
And this is where it truly gets interesting. Helena's internal struggle between faith and vengeance makes her one of Gotham's most profoundly human vigilantes, fighting not just crime, but for her own soul. Her story demonstrates that heroes can be forged in rage, finding their path to redemption in unexpected relationships, and proving that not all heroes are born from a simple vow, but sometimes from a desperate, messy struggle for meaning and peace.
Next, let's examine Deathstroke. Slade Wilson, often called the world's greatest assassin.
Terminator. Yeah, formidable.
A professional mercenary whose formidable reputation is backed by this staggering list of accomplishments against powerful beings, often taking on entire teams of heroes and holding his own, or even winning. He's not usually a villain with a grand world-conquering plan. He's a highly effective, tactical operative who takes contracts against anyone for the right price.
He's the embodiment of a very dark form of professionalism, isn't he? Utterly dedicated to his craft, no matter how brutal that craft is.
Absolutely. Despite his ruthless efficiency, there are rare moments where his hardened facade cracks, revealing unexpected flashes of a twisted honor.
Glimmers of the man he was.
Maybe. One notable example is when he was hired to protect Dr. Light, a deeply unsympathetic character, mind you, and he took on the entire Justice League. And won. Through tactical brilliance and sheer force of will. Subsequently, when an army of lesser heroes came for him, he disarmed them and left them unharmed, often with a dismissive comment. Proving his violence has a purpose, he is not a monster who kills just for the sake of killing, but a predator whose actions, however brutal, have a clear, contracted objective. He has a code, however dark it might be.
A code among killers.
Right. Deathstroke is a philosophical conundrum, defined by his profound contradictions, capable of both profound brutality and desperate, if often toxic, paternal love for his children. A victim of his past military experiments, yet a master of his own destruction. He embodies the complex morality of a professional whose violence is precise and purposeful, forcing readers to grapple with the idea of a code in the darkest of professions.
This raises an important question about the distinction between a monster and a mercenary with a code, even a dark one. Deathstroke forces us to examine the nature of professionalism and whether precision and purpose can ever truly redeem or justify brutal actions, challenging our perceptions of heroism and villainy by presenting a character who operates outside traditional moral frameworks, yet adheres to his own unyielding rules.
Moving to another of Gotham's tragic figures, we have Killer Croc, Waylon Jones.
The beast beneath the city.
A primal, tragic, and deeply human character despite his monstrous exterior. He's often depicted with this rare form of epidermolytic hyperkeratosis, giving him a reptilian appearance, thick hide, claws, incredible strength. But his true tragedy runs far deeper than his skin.
His story feels almost mythic sometimes. The monster who is fundamentally misunderstood by society.
It does. His core tragedy is this endless struggle for acceptance in a world that consistently rejects him, often from birth. He's a pariah, leading to his enduring description as a monster who just wants to be a man. This universal tale of rejection, the struggle with the beast within, makes him profoundly sympathetic, even when he succumbs to his violent urges. He wants connection, but society has only ever offered him fear and scorn.
Which pushes him further into darkness.
Often, yes. The adaptability and enduring appeal of Killer Croc lie in his versatility as a character. He can be portrayed as a terrifying horror villain lurking in the sewers, a deeply tragic figure lamenting his fate, a cunning gangster running rackets, or even, in some nuanced takes, a misunderstood anti-hero who genuinely tries to do good, protecting other outcasts. His story adapts, but his fundamental search for a place to belong, for acceptance, remains his core, relatable human desire.
What's fascinating here is that Killer Croc's story is this raw, visceral exploration of how physical otherness and societal rejection can twist a being. And yet, that fundamental human desire for connection, for a place in the world, remains. He's a poignant reflection of our own societal prejudices and how they can create the very monsters we fear.
Then there's the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot. Often dismissed as a joke, visually, but in truth, an utterly underestimated mastermind.
Never underestimate the Penguin.
Never. His origin details him as a scion of a fading, once prominent Gotham family, subjected to brutal rejection and mockery for his appearance, his bird-like nose, his short stature, his waddle. His doting but misguided mother pushed him into a world not built for him, always carrying that umbrella. His first act of violence, a schoolyard incident avenging this mockery, taught him a crucial, brutal lesson. Violence, not passive acceptance, was the true currency of respect. And it fueled this quiet satisfaction, this profound sense of power within him.
It's a classic underdog story turned on its head, really. The rejection he suffered is the very fuel for his ambition and his ruthlessness. He built his empire on that resentment.
Exactly. Unlike Gotham's more theatrical, physically imposing villains like Bane or Joker, the Penguin is a cold, calculating businessman and logistics expert. A chess player who thinks 10 steps ahead. He's a master of quiet intimidation and strategic manipulation. As seen in the story of Tiny Tony, a brute he humbled using cunning and traps, proving that size is merely a matter of perspective when intellect and planning are involved. He runs legitimate businesses, like the Iceberg Lounge, alongside his criminal empire, seamlessly blending into Gotham's elite.
He plays the system.
He masterfully exploits the system, understanding Gotham's legal and criminal frameworks with chilling precision. Using the law as both a shield and a weapon, he exploits loopholes, weaknesses, societal prejudices, making him, as one investigator noted, the most dangerous kind of criminal because he operates so close to the legitimate world, often untouchable.
The respectable face of crime.
Exactly. Ironically, his physical appearance, which led to so much childhood trauma and mockery, becomes his greatest asset as an adult. People underestimate him, they see a joke, a waddling little man, and by the time they realize he's a cold-blooded killer and a brilliant mastermind, it's often far too late. He thrives on this underestimation, using it as a brilliant defense mechanism and a tactical advantage.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the Penguin embodies a specific kind of Gotham evil. The exploitation of systemic weakness, and the power of quiet, ruthless cunning over brute force. He reflects Gotham's soul as a place where the powerful prey on the weak, and ambition often triumphs over morality. Proving some scars never truly heal, they just change shape into something far more dangerous.
In a world often dominated by the grim and gritty, though, let's talk about Plastic Man, Patrick Eel O'Brien.
Oh, yes. A breath for sure.
He offers this wonderfully refreshing perspective on heroism. His origin involves a low-life gangster's chemical accident during a botched robbery, and then an unexpected act of kindness from a monk who takes him in, which, in this bizarre twist of fate, leads him down an unlikely path to heroism. It's a tale of redemption, but with a definite slapstick twist.
He's such a unique character, almost an anomaly in the DC universe.
Yeah.
His powers are so inherently absurd, stretchy, malleable, yet he manages to be a genuinely effective hero.
He truly is the ultimate wild card. With powers of malleability, stretching, compressing, contorting into any shape, changing density that are incredibly inventive and seem to defy conventional rules.
Yeah.
This makes him a uniquely creative problem solver. He uses this innate chaos and unpredictability to fight for law and order, becoming essentially an agent of anarchy for order, a figure of pure disorder fighting to maintain balance in the most unconventional ways.
The ultimate paradox.
Right. And his relentless stream of jokes and gags, it's far more than just comic relief. It's a profound psychological tool. He uses humor to disarm opponents, to lighten dire situations that would crush lesser heroes, and most importantly, to cope with the absurdity and horror of his gangster past and his surreal present life. His ability to find levity in chaos, to embrace the bizarre, is in many ways his true superpower. It makes him incredibly resilient.
He doesn't take himself too seriously, which is key.
Not at all. Plastic Man represents something fundamental about the superhero genre itself, embracing transformation and the absurd. He leans into the weirdness, the inherent strangeness of his powers and origins, making him more honest, maybe, and relatable than many heroes who try to pretend to be normal despite their fantastical lives. He proves that heroism doesn't always need to be solemn, and that joy and laughter can be powerful forces for good.
What's fascinating here is that Plastic Man offers this refreshing perspective that heroism doesn't always need to be grim and gritty. He proves that finding levity in chaos and embracing the bizarre can be a powerful force for good, even a form of true strength, reminding us that there is joy and absurdity even in saving the world. He's a testament to the idea that a hero can be fundamentally silly and still profoundly effective.
Finally, we arrive at Lex Luthor,
Superman's nemesis, the ultimate human antagonist.
a character who truly embodies humanity's paradoxical savior. His core motivation, as he sees it, is his unwavering belief that Superman, the alien god, hinders humanity's ingenuity and self-reliance, leading to what he calls self-imposed servitude. He genuinely aims to ignite human ambition and prove humanity's greatness without the alien shadow, believing, in his twisted way, that he is saving humanity from itself. By opposing Superman, he forces humanity to reach higher.
He's convinced he's the hero of the story, even as he commits the most villainous acts imaginable. That self-deception is truly chilling and maybe kind of understandable from his perspective.
It is, yet this noble aspiration, if you can call it that, is marred by a tragic paradox. He fights for humanity's soul, but has utterly lost his own. He preaches self-reliance, but is a complete slave to his all-consuming obsession with Superman. His desire to be a god, to elevate humanity, is ironically undermined by the hatred and jealousy that makes him something less than human, ultimately confining him to his own self-made prison of ego.
He can't see past his own reflection, really.
Luthor acts as a dark mirror, reflecting not just his own ambition, jealousy, and profound fear of the other, the immigrant, the outsider represented by Superman, but also our own collective flaws as a society. He forces us to confront our own biases and insecurities, especially our deep-seated atavistic fears of what we don't understand and our tendency to either deify or demonize those who are different.
He taps into something primal in us.
He does, his time actually joining the Justice League after Superman's supposed death in the New 52 era.
That was a bold move.
It was a masterstroke that exposed a profound hypocrisy in the superhero community. As a highly effective hero, providing cutting-edge tech, brilliant strategy, cold, hard logic, he showed that with enough power and influence, you can indeed write your own redemption story, or at least appear to, even if you're a man who has done more damage than most traditional villains combined. He proved his efficacy while also highlighting the inherent biases in how heroes are perceived and who gets forgiven.
It made everyone uncomfortable, which was the point.
Exactly. And in stark contrast to both Superman's unwavering idealism and Luthor's calculated ambition, you have the Joker, as the ultimate counterpoint to both of them.
The agent of chaos.
He is the ultimate expression of cosmic chaos and nihilism, rejecting both inherited power, like Superman's, and earned power, like Luthor's, wanting only to watch the universe burn. He presents a problem that cannot be reasoned with, a constant force of disruption that throws the entire system, whether it's Superman's order or Luthor's controlled ambition, into complete disarray. He is the unpredictable element neither of them can ever truly control or understand.
This raises an important question about the complex interplay between noble aspirations and destructive means. Luthor's story is this profound, albeit tragic, exploration of human potential, ego, and the dangerous line between savior and tyrant. It forces us to confront our own biases and fears about the other, and what we are willing to sacrifice for what we believe is the greater good. It makes us truly question the nature of heroism itself and who gets to define it.
Wow. We've really traveled through some incredible psychological landscapes today, haven't we? Exploring how these characters, in all their forms, reflect the deepest parts of ourselves and our society. From their personal transformations to the families they build and those inner demons they constantly battle.
Absolutely. What we've seen today digging through all this material is that the world of comic offers far more than just simple heroes and villains punching each other.
So much more.
It's an intricate tapestry, woven from internal conflict, inherited legacies, transformative experiences, and this profound human capacity for resilience, for connection, for reinvention. These characters endure because they tap into universal truths about identity, trauma, and what it truly means to make choices in a complex, often unfair world. They mirror our own struggles and sometimes our highest ideals.
Beautifully put.
Perhaps the truest power of these characters isn't really in their fantastical abilities, their super strength or flight or magic rings, but in their unwavering and sometimes frankly terrifying will to define themselves. In a universe that constantly tries to label them, control them, or break them, they choose who they are every single day, battle by battle, choice by choice.
A powerful thought indeed. That constant act of self-definition. We hope this deep dive has given you a new perspective on these iconic figures, maybe sparked some new thoughts, and inspired you to look even closer at the stories that shape us. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the inner oceans and the cosmic tapestries of our shared narratives.